on. You know what the difference is? The United States government in 1940 decided to make Irish, Jews, and Italians white folks. Before 1940, they were not white folks. And then guess what they did after they made them white? And guess what they did after they made them white? Well, you had other immigrants, but they were still whites because they were Anglo-Saxons. What they did was they gave the Irish the police departments, they gave the Italians the fire departments, and they gave the Jews the civil service, center city jobs, city hall, that they still control to this day. And the courts, they gave them an economic stimulus package. You want to stop black on black crime? You can cut at least 40% of it out overnight. Give these brothers who are fighting and killing each other over turf territory and drugs a livable wage job with benefits so they can raise their children. Whenever we have conversations on black crime, why we never hear anything about economic opportunity? They never talk economics when they talk black men. It's all about we gotta create more prisons, and maybe we're not tough enough on crime, or maybe they need some help, maybe they need some therapy. We don't give a damn about no band-aids. We want a solution. And the solution is economic empowerment. What's the first job of a man? To protect and provide. The protect part, we can do better on that, but some of us can do that. But to be able to provide, that's where black men are hurting, because a lot of us are not given that opportunity to provide for our families. That creates the stress that indirectly leads to the murder. Let me give you an example. He's in a Chinese store tonight. I just got fired from my job. I just got fired after 30 years. They laid me off. I walk into the Chinese store. He look at me the wrong way. What the F you looking at? Guess what? He ain't got a job looking for one. He mad at the same thing I'm mad at. 3 babies, 3 child supports, whatever the case is. We get into a fight, I kill him. The headlines will say another black man murdered a black man in South Philly in the Chinese store, probably fighting over a blunt. They don't know the real reason we got into that scuffle is because both of us are suffering the same oppression, economic castration.
Yes. Well, how do we make it better though? Because
I'll tell you how you make it better.
We're in 2019 now, and
problems don't change just because the time is rolling, brother.
You're right. But I'm seeing homes in this area that I can't even afford. And I see that
black bourgeoisie has aided the Caucasian in removing blacks out of all the major inner cities in America. It ain't just Philly. They doing it in Harlem, D.C. You can go to certain cities now. They even starting to work on Atlanta, believe it or not, Black Chocolate City. Okay, it was D.C., now it's Atlanta. But this was a national movement. Guess when they decided to do it? Y2K. It was in the year 2000 that they decided that they was going to go back to the inner cities and take them back. And why did they want to come back to the inner cities in the first place? They never wanted to leave. Why did white folks run away from the inner city? Because after the Dr. King era, integration, housing and urban development, they had to let us in. So white folks ran to the suburbs because part of the burden of being white is always looking like you're better than black folks. So they had to run away to live their own private life. And then guess what the black bourgeoisie did? Followed the white folks out to, because we love white folks. So they said if these Negroes love us this much, that no matter where we go, they gonna follow us, we might as well go the hell back home. And that's why when a lot of white people moved out in the 60s, they never sold their property. They just became landlords, but they never relinquished their control because they knew one day they were going to come back home. Listen, don't no white person want to sit in traffic for 90 minutes going to an Eagles game. Don't no white person want to sit in traffic for 2 hours going to a Sixers game. It is convenient to live on Susquehanna Avenue. Yes. It is convenient to live on Girard Avenue. It is convenient to live on Allegheny Avenue. 3 stops from downtown, 8 stops from the sports complex. White folks is like, we paying all this money to live in the suburbs. It is so inconvenient to get to the culture of Philadelphia and to the sports complex. So they said, why don't we swap? Right. So that's why Donald Trump put the coon from Baltimore, housing and urban development.
Oh, Ben Carson.
Ben Coon Carson. I called him that. I said it. Ben, I'm calling it. He's a coon. Listen. No. We let it quit. No.
Please. No, you married.
All hell to Queen. No. We're not getting
talking about as it relates to Ben Carson. Has he sold out?
Of course. Yes. Listen, Donald Trump put Ben Carson in charge of housing and urban. development so that he could facilitate. Yes, but that also makes Barack Obama a coon.
He's a coon. But sold us out.
But that also
he didn't sell us out.
But that also
stop all that.
But that also there's a name. Coons are coons. How you gonna change it if you can't? You can't change it if you can't claim it. One of the things we gotta stop doing is being afraid to be unapologetic about our reality. We are in a desperation state. This is a state of emergency. We ain't got time to be worried about nobody's feelings. I can give a damn what a Negro think about me. Shame the devil and tell the truth. Shame the devil and call. Building. We're gonna love you anyway. See, part of being a black man, I got to put you on a pedestal even if you say don't do it.
That's right.
1A. Another vowel E.
No, I'm on a pedestal.
She is. What we're going to do is watching a We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
But if he's a coon, Condoleezza, nothing.
Let's come back and let's touch on
Still ain't do school to prison pipeline.
That's what I want to come back to.
Let's deal with special ed and ADHD in Philadelphia. We ain't got to spend a lot of time on it, but let's hit it. And we can go wherever else you want. But hit that because you got parents. Ain't no daddy at home disorder. Artificial diet at home disorder. What's bull crap? What's bull crap?
I said,
anybody need water? Anybody need water?
What I'm saying is I know because we work with children with ADHD and we're like,
well, you a foster parent. Y'all got it really hard.
We're giving them
because it's hard for foster parents to say no.
All they need is just to be turned around.
Yes,
go right out there.
Exactly. And that's why I'm opening the school. I agree with you. You're absolutely right.
You got a lot of haters in the school situation.
Well, but see, that's only because the haters get the attention. For every hater I got a million supporters.
Oh, I know what I'm
They irrelevant.
I ain't gonna say.
And that's why none of them allowed in the school when it opens anyway. You coons ain't coming in. I'm gonna have a whole hater list.
You just seem like you got this. This is what drove me crazy
Talk to me.
when I first saw your stuff. I'm like, you got this separatist.
It ain't separatist. It's righteousness. Righteousness. What did Jesus say? Did Jesus say he came for everybody? He said, I came for those in the house of Israel. Ain't nobody trying to say. Did Moses save everybody? No. Moses say the Negroes and all.
I get it.
You feel me?
I know, I get it.
But let me tell you this, though. There's members of the LBGT who support my work. Oh my gosh, they send me emails and everything. They say, listen, Doc.
Said I was raped and that's how I got this way.
But not only that, they'll say, listen, Doc, I never heard you say you wanted to bring harm to me. I never heard you say you wanted to stop me from living or being. You understand?
Yes.
And they'll even say, I agree with you.
You should say that.
This should not be
Well,
when the time is right, because I'm going to have a gay black forum.
I knew it.
What?
You should say that, sir.
I do say something.
Because you got people.
But they can't say it in the house because they don't want to get lynched by the LBGT.
Get ready to come back.
No, I say it a lot, though.
That's true.
What up, Frank? Bring it back here.
Oh.
But I'm going to have a gay black conversation.
They don't want me to be passionate. I'm not afraid. I've been like
passion is spirit. You got to be passionate.
I was like this.
Be passionate. Let it out.
John, once you talk about that, you talk about the court system too? With the juvenile court system?
Oh, man.
As far as these kids being sent to.
Talk about it. Bring it up.
So you know what? Yeah. Let's do school to prison, then we can segue. However y'all want to segue.
Good evening, and welcome back to Acres of Diamonds.
Fire!
You just changed the name. The name was Acres of Fire.
Acres of Fire! I'm a Leo. This is a lion talking to you. This Garvey.
Well, wait a minute. When you heard that?
August 21st, the same day as Nat Turner.
That's why.
Same day as the George Jackson. Same day as the Haitian Revolution. Same day as the birth of Christ. 8 Deuce 1.
Listen, a lot of people are inboxing me and they're putting
what?
they're putting posts on Facebook Live, and they're saying that we need to touch more, not globally, and what's happening
locally.
We need to talk about locally. We need to talk about a lot of the problems that's taking place in here. Somebody just put up, we're not laughing about, any of the killings.
Nah, we ain't laughing.
And,
it's serious stuff.
In this room, you have 3 people that are involved in law enforcement. So we see it on a total different level.
Yes.
We may not be out there on the forefront marching. And, I've done some marching throughout the years. But, I don't want anybody to think that we're laughing, we joke. This is a very serious.
No, it's serious. Nobody, no.
And we felt the need to bring some humor into the room.
Yes, which is necessary to change the energy.
Change the energy, okay? So we're very concerned about the Okay, callers, we're going to get to you. I know we got calls. We're very concerned about what's happening in the streets. We're very concerned about in the street. You are out on the front line. You have thousands and thousands of fans on social media. Supporters.
I'm not an entertainer.
You have a platform that many of us in this room do not have. And what advice can you give? Because there are shootings and there are young people that are listening, that are watching tonight. We had a young brother that was from the Islamic community that was just killed, shot in the face up in Albany. I know another young brother that was killed senselessly, murdered. Very good friend. I watched him grow up. I watched his family raise him. Never got in any trouble that I knew of. We just buried this young brother. We just literally buried him this past summer. So what can we say?
So we know systematically with the economics and the politics of crime, we know that. When jobs are up, crime is down. When jobs are down, crime is up. But now you're saying, let's look at the black community. I'll roll in this. And I'll tell you what it is very emphatically. Black men have allowed the youth to break code in the community. I have never seen this. Black men, those of us 40 and over, 30s too, but more so 40 and over, because they clearly recognize us as the OGs. We have allowed our sons and nephews and cousins and next door neighbors to get so far out of hand with this violence that we now afraid of them. I want to be clear about something. As long as the youth know that the elders are scared of them, this won't stop. And I want to say this very, very decisively. Globally, Philly, wherever you at, because it's global. Whatever you see in Philly, you see around the world. It's a Pan-African issue. But nonetheless, until black men take the streets back, it will always remain the Wild Wild West. We have to literally go to the streets in droves and say, brothers, it's a new day. Hand out a new paper. These are the new rules. It's a phone number. Somebody threaten you, call this number. You know what I mean? Somebody, gang violence, you call this number. And we got brothers who ain't funded by white folks. White folks ain't got nothing to do with this. This is grassroots black men solving their own issues. And if we take the streets back, we can end this in 6 months.
Can we take
Yes, we can.
Can we as a people?
But here's the problem. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Here's the problem. You got 2 issues with taking the streets back. There's a lot of people who make money by pimping black pain in poverty projects. You understand? Black poverty is a $1 billion industry. If you solve the black on black crime, a lot of people gonna be out of work. You know how many prisons will shut down if we stop the violence? You know how many probation officers would be out of jobs? How many halfway houses wouldn't exist? You know how many federal grant dollars would be discontinued if we stop this? Why you think when the Black Panther Party of the 60s intervened directly in the cocaine epidemic, guess who they had to fight the most? The police! For stopping the drugs, the Panthers had to fight the cops because the job of the police is not to stop drug dealing, but to contain it so it doesn't go into neighborhoods where it's not wanted. So we can't drive ourselves on this. The white power structure is counting on the violence to continue because it justifies the marginalization and premature extermination of black males. But let me say this last point.
Go ahead.
Like with my conversation with the Queen, everybody's not coming for the party.
Right.
I'm saying that to say this. I've never taken a life, God forbid. I hope I never have to. But if we're going to take them streets back, we got to admit something. I'm talking as a psychologist. Some of our young men, we've let them go so far for so long, they're no good to no damn body. There's people walking these streets where we're going to have to put to sleep. In other words, you might have to create violence to end it. It will be a cataclysmic altercation between black men and some of our youth. Most of our youth, we can get them. But there's some of them, they ain't going without a fight. And they're going to have to be put to bed. It's a shame. It ain't their fault. You understand? But you have a population of unreachables. The white man wants us to think they all unreachables. 90% are reachable. 10%, we will have to have a civil war with them. And that's facts. Don't give your guns back. Buy some more.
So you're saying that the black Christians, the black Muslims, the Nation of Islam, the Sunnis, the black Israelites,
everybody,
there has to be a collective agenda to come together to approach these guys out on the street.
Yes.
That's
face to face. Yes. There's no masculinity involved. It's all conversations in the safety of these rooms. How we gonna stop the violence? Then you got to get in their face. You see what I'm saying? So yes, there got to be a collective, and we got to go to the streets, and I'm all for that. It's the only way to do it. But make sure you got the right folks, because some of us are only going to be here to let the other side know what we're doing. Like I said, some of us are so far gone, we're going to have to be put to sleep.
I think, too, in doing so, on that point, Dr. Umar, I think I'm with you on your point. But I also think there has to be a collective effort in conjunction with that to supply our youth
with opportunities. Opportunity, yes, my brother. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Yes.
They want to work.
Yes.
They want to support.
Give them a chance. Nah, they good dudes. Listen.
You know what I mean?
You know how many emails I got from brothers who say, Doc, listen, I got 5 kids, but I work for minimum wage.
Right.
I just don't want to go to the corner.
Right.
But if I come in that house one more time and see my queen and my 5 babies and I ain't got nothing for them, I'm going to have to go to the corner. And that's why when they talk about this violence and stuff, it ain't because we born this way.
Right.
It's created out of the social constructs under which we live.
Yes.
You can make a violent community out of anybody. They did it to the Irish. They did it to the Italians. They did it to the Jews. They even did it to the Chinese at once upon a time. But here's where the black community is complicit, man. Look what Philadelphia spends on Christmas.
Right.
Black Philly spends $3 billion.
Right.
Not million, but billion every Christmas. With that type of money, you could give every brother a job.
Yes.
Why our kids ain't got our own schools? Used to have Frederick Douglass Hospital right there on Lombard Street. Black-owned hospital in Philly, Frederick Douglass. No more black hospitals in Philly. We used to have 2.
Right.
We ain't got no factories. We ain't got no distribution. Where the hell is our Walmart? Because we damn sure don't need theirs.
Right.
You see, so we have to be willing to become more responsible with our economics. And we have to be willing to put our people before our own personal, useless, agendas.
Can you speak to the black politics in conjunction with that? Because we got a lot of people, black people in politics.
Oh, they're useless. They're useless.
Speak to that.
They're useless. They're useless. Listen.
I agree with that.
I respect everybody in Philadelphia City Hall, but let's just be honest. The blacks who currently occupy that have done nothing systematically to improve the quality of life of black folks in Philadelphia. Now, Jahid spoke earlier about, being in law enforcement and seeing this on a whole nother level. People often ask me, what do you want the black bourgeoisie to do for you? Because we can't do everything. Yes, we sold out. Yes, we there. But guess what? If we try to pull away from it, they'll kill us. So, Dr. Umar, what can the black bourgeoisie do to help? We can't be on the front lines with you, brother, but I want to do something because I don't want to die having been a total coon my whole life. You know what the black bourgeoisie can do? Provide us with the information. You ain't got to do nothing. If he let me know what they about to do, that's far more powerful than him being on the front lines with me. You understand? If Council President Clark say, listen, Dr. Umar, they're about to take these blocks back. Get the black people together. Tell them to buy as much of them houses as they can because the white folks is coming. That's all I need them to do. They ain't got to be out front with the Nat Turner hoodie. Let me know what my enemy's next steps are so we can plan and prevent them from taking that. The problem with the black bourgeoisie, they not giving us the intelligence. The white man has a spy in every black organization. Why? To bring back the intelligence. The art of war is knowing what your enemy going to do before he do it and taking care of that before he get there. We have nobody amongst the black intelligentsia feeding the grassroots with information as it relates to the white man's agenda. Listen, the real estate takeover, that was planned 10 years before they started it. Not a single black politician made a move. And speaking of black politicians, I don't vote for no black politician unless they can answer 3 questions. Question number 1, are you an independent candidate? If you're Democrat, you're Republican, I don't vote for you at all. Why? Because if you're Democrat or Republican, you're first of all obligated to the agenda of the Democratic and Republican Party. 2 white racist organizations who don't give a damn about black folks. Okay, that's number 1. So if you're not independent, you're not getting my vote because you're going to do whatever the Democrats tell you to do like a good old boy because they the ones who funded your campaign, which is my next question. I want a complete list of your campaign funders.
Hold on for a second,
Hold
caller.
on, caller. Hold on. We're coming to you.
Complete list of your campaign funders. That's number 2, right? And then number 3, what are you going
Do it again, because I was distracted.
Got you. So the first one, are you independent? I don't vote for Democrats and Republicans. You got to be independent because if you're not an independent candidate, you're not an independent thinker.
Right.
I want independent thinkers. I don't want no slaves to the Democrats and the Republicans. Number 2, give me a complete list of all your campaign funders. Anybody who has donated more than $5,000 to you, I need to know who they are because the hand that pays is the hand that rules. Number 3, what are you going to do to give black people a major share of the economic pie in the city of Philadelphia? City of Philadelphia does billions of dollars of business. This is a national treasure because this is where the white supremacist fathers created that damn Constitution. You understand? So much money comes in here. What are you doing to make sure we get our fair share of the economic pie of Philadelphia? Because if you ain't growing, not small black business, I don't want to hear a damn thing about no small black business. I want medium and large black businesses. What are you doing to grow them? And the last question I'm going to have for them, what are you doing to improve the schools and put more black men inside? Because the number 1 thing that black boys need in the school district of Philadelphia is black male teachers, black male principals. I'm not talking about no gym teachers.
Visit gcu.edu/online. We understand the anxiety.
I'm not talking about no lunchtime aides, no bus attendant monitors.
Also, we kind of don't understand.
They need to see black men as leaders.
Well, seeing that you mentioned school, let's talk about school.
For sandwiches.
Let's talk about school, and let's also talk about as it exists.
Yes.
I have a child.
Get up-to-the-minute announcements. So watch some of our best show moments and clue in on interesting facts. So whether you're keeping up with the tournament or want to train your brain.
And throughout the years, they labeled him learning disability. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they gave I was unhappy with. So I know what my rights are, and I know what you have to give him. And if you're dying,
That's right.
so they made the correction. Can you talk about how they entrap our kids and they give us this label of special education, and then they want to give us the medication?
Excellent point. Precursor to that, there's 6 cycles in the school to prison pipeline. 6 cycles of death, 6 stages of black male extermination. Miseducation. They deliberately miseducate the black boy from preschool to 3rd grade. It is not by accident. It's not because of power. The reason they do it on purpose is they have to make sure that the black boy.
Yes, my sister and I in college had a trivia radio show on our college radio station where we would ask questions and take callers. It was at about
In that control. The black boy must fit. Tardy. He's
Good for you. All right. John Presloyd is our champion.
autistic. He's reading disabled. He's math disabled. Cannot prove.
Means you do what exactly?
Currently work with bacteria. We work with Lyme disease.
Mild intellectual disability. No, you cannot. They are ideas. They are not facts. So then they special educate your kid with all these labels, and then they move on to psychiatric medication. Adderall, Concerta, Ritalin, Vyvanse, Strattera, which is nothing but cocaine. So then the question becomes, how is a society that says it got a war on drugs that's locking up black men by the millions for nonviolent drug sales, but you giving the same dope that locked his daddy up to his son so he can sit still long enough to learn about Christopher Columbus? And then when the drugs don't kill your black boy's masculinity, because by the way, the enemy is masculinity. The enemy is being an unapologetically African alpha male. Let me say it again. America's number 1 fear is not Al-Qaeda, and it's not the Taliban, and it's not the president of North Korea. America's number 1 threat is the rising up of unapologetically African alpha males who ain't afraid to die for the liberation of their people. That's the number one threat.
This mode of transport, seen here, got introduced nationally in 2001 on Good Morning America. Kelsey.
What is the segue?
In this country. So then once the dope, the top
Drunk on a plane. A 737 is rocking like a G6.
cities in America, incarceration of youth under the number one referral source for new juvenile cases is not the cops. It's the schools. She said the schools have passed the cops as the number one source of new juvenile inmates. So
It's the group name, seen here.
we say school to prison,
Right.
because when they brought the street cops into the schools. So your son gets into a fight. Before there was any street cops, guess what? He break it up, I break it up, 2-day suspension after school. I make y'all shake hands, right? But now you got a street cop in there. So now he can take jurisdiction over that fight and charge
Is part of this. The system of ropes and chains supporting sales.
that boy with a crime. As an all
This term can apply geologically to a rock, or just mean combined. John,
boys, you got kids walking around in hand. You know,
this landmark in Wiltshire, England, was built in several stages over about 1,500 years.
they set the concrete thick and they play.
9 of the 16 highest peaks.
Right. You might get almost what you're juvenile, but it can get you some time.
Right.
So now that you got, so basically wherever you got street cops in the school, I want to be clear about this. The street cops take jurisdiction over the school principal.
John, what is Palmetto, right? According to a song from Porgy and Bess, it's when the living is easy. John,
What is summertime?
right.
The street cop can tell the principal, that's mine now. Listen, we